What's up, guys? It's Brian from HASHWAREHUB. It's about 8:36 p.m. a.m. Eastern Time, January 23rd, 2018. We are coming to you with a brand new trading video on Bitcoin, in particular, specifically on Bitcoin and what's going on. But first, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, upvote, and resteam, all greatly appreciated. So what are we looking at here? This is a 4-hour chart on Bitcoin. And there's a lot of indecision right around this spot right here. This is 4 hour. Let's get down to an hour. And overnight we kind of bounced around. Here. I was hoping that we would see something a little bit more decisive, but this is very true with what happens with corrections, sell-offs in particular, is you go to sleep hoping that you're going to see something more in the morning, and more times than not you don't. So that's why patience is so paramount in these situations. So we had this bearish flag. The market came down here to this blue support line that we had drawn some time ago. So go ahead and look at the previous video and you'll see where we drew this support line on Bitcoin. And now we're going sideways. This kind of sideways action does not seem to be adhering all too much to this blue line. Okay, it did in the beginning, and then it broke through pretty decisively. It ran back up again, and now we have this kind of channel correction. I drew it as an ABCDE, but it doesn't necessarily need to be an ABCDE. So that's the first thing. The second thing is what we're seeing is that there's a decline in volume here, which leads me to believe that maybe there's some sort of triangle here starting. And there's a few of them that are here that could possibly be here. It could be this blue line here, where the bottom of the triangle is this kind of plumb line, and we're making our way through it. Okay, or it could be something larger, and there's a few other lines, believe it or not, that you could draw on this, or possibly the triangle could show its face. But I'm not particularly in love with any of those triangles just yet. I need to see more information. This other plumb line that we drew right here, I guess is kind of a pun there. If you're at all into construction at all, you'll understand what a plumb line is and its method. And I guess you can use that same type of connotation here in the markets as well. But you could see that this line right here is kind of is defining this channel from this dotted blue line here and this plumb line here. It's kind of this channel of a typical zigzag correction that's coming down. Now, if I were to count this, I would say we're not over yet. I would say that it's got a little bit further to go until possibly down here. So there's a good chance that possibly the market may be in some sort of a triangle formation, and maybe that triangle formation is actually this small little triangle right here. Okay, so if that's the case, then we're going to get some sort of decision point in let's call it 6 to 8 hours. Or what we may see is that the market kind of comes back up here again to kind of this top channel level. However, if it were to do that, you see that there's some resistance. Okay, you can see it a few times, right? So this line here was support for some time, and then it broke through, right? Even on this candle here, it tried to rally back up to the blue line, and it failed. And then this candle here, it sufficiently did it. It came up to the top here, and then look, this candle here, this down candle here, ended. It closed right on the blue line. This candle came down. This one went up. It kissed the blue line. It tried to get above it. Okay, it took until this candle here. Right now, this candle then hit this descending blue line, and then it came back down again. Right, and again, I mean, this candle here, it tried to rally up to the blue line. It couldn't do it. This one here, the wick ended at the blue line. This one here, okay, it tried to reach the blue line. So now what was resistance has now, what was support has now become resistance. So if the market were to come back up through here, it's got to get through this blue line. It's got to get through this blue line in order to get to here. You need to get volume for that. You need volume. Or if you don't need volume, and I meant to mention this because I had a comment the other day that after I thought about it wasn't exactly correct, is that sometimes you need volume to go up, for the market to go up. However, when do you don't need volume? You don't need volume to go up if there's no more sellers left. And that's why when it comes down to corrections, I like to see nice, long, drawn-out corrections that gets all the sellers out. So you don't need much volume to get back in for the market to go back up again. You don't need much. And it's a better place for you to start layering in trades, because the market just doesn't come down and then rocket back up to the to the stratosphere without giving you any chance of getting back in. So that's why I like these long, drawn-out corrections. Now, if you trade the way that we do, where you start taking profits at tops, well, then you welcome these corrections. You love these corrections. Okay, these corrections are like, sales. So very interesting to see what's going to happen here. If I were to place a bet, I would say that this blue line is still in effect based on the way in which I count these Elliott wave, okay? That this should be really 5 waves coming down, the way I look at it, if this is a true zigzag. And if it is a true zigzag, then chances are this is, possibly this could be 1, 2, and then this here is probably, a 3, 4, and then we're going to have a 5, okay? Or this is probably a 3, then maybe we'll have a 4, and then we'll have a 5. But this doesn't look like it should be 3 waves. It looks like it should be 5 waves. And if it's 5 waves and the rest of these are 3 waves, then this should be much longer. So, yeah, I mean, actually, let's see, maybe if we watch this here for a second, see what happens. See if it pierces through this blue line. Come on, pierce through it. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm going to actually pause it right here, and then I'm going to start it up here in a few minutes. No need for you guys to watch through this. Hold on a sec. All right, so we're back. So this candle here did not breach, in other words, did not close above the blue line. It made a valiant effort, but it just was not able to do it. So now, obviously, we're in the next candle right here. So it doesn't look to be all too bullish at all. The chance of it breaking this is lower and lower as each bar kind of goes by. So let's see what the day brings. One other thing I failed to mention is that there's a possibility that this whole downturn here can be like a miniature ABC correction, because this whole correction here has a lot of fractal nature to it. There's a lot of the same patterns that appear many different ways, or many different times in different sizes. So with that said, this would be like a miniature ABC correction. And if that's the case, if this is an ABC correction, then this definitely has to be 5 waves. And if this is definitely 5 waves, then there's no doubt this is going to come down. Most likely it's going to come down to this bottom blue level right here. Okay, but that's the way in which we're counting it right now. That's the way we see it right now. That could change, but you know, as of right now, this is where our bets would be as far as in this direction. So that said, we're going to leave it there. If anything major happens, we're going to go ahead and make another video. Happy trading, and speak to you guys soon.